In the heart of a bustling New York summer, where the sidewalks shimmer under a relentless sun and the rhythm of the city pulses through every corner bodega and rooftop garden, something quietly extraordinary is growing on kitchen windowsills and in backyard planters, a humble green leaf with ancient roots and modern power. It's not some lab-engineered superfood or a trendy adaptogen shipped from distant mountains. It's basil, the same fragrant herb that crowns a perfect caprese salad, perfumes a bowl of fresh pasta, and dances through Thai curries with bright, peppery flair. But beneath its culinary charm lies a story far deeper than flavor. This unassuming herb, so often tossed into dishes without a second thought, may be one of nature's most potent allies in the fight against some of the most pressing health challenges of our time. For centuries, basil has lived many lives. It was once wrapped in linen and placed among the treasures of pharaohs, believed to guide the soul in the afterlife. In ancient Egypt, it wasn't just a plant, it was sacred, used in embalming rituals and revered as a symbol of eternal life. Across continents and cultures, it took on new meanings, a token of love in Italy, a spiritual offering in India, a protective charm in Greece. But today, far from temples and tombs, basil is stepping into a new role, not as a symbol, but as a silent warrior in the human body, working at the cellular level to protect, heal, and strengthen. What makes this leaf so special isn't magic, but chemistry, the intricate dance of natural compounds that modern science is only beginning to fully understand. Deep within its oils and pigments are substances that act like tiny bodyguards, patrolling the bloodstream, defending cells from damage, and calming internal fires that, left unchecked, can lead to disease. These are antioxidants, anti-inflammatory agents, and volatile oils with names that sound more like spells than science: eugenol, linalool, rosmarinic acid. Together, they form a defense network that helps the body resist the slow, silent wear and tear that leads to chronic illness. The story begins with damage, not the kind you can see, like a cut or bruise, but the kind that happens invisibly, every second of every day. As the body converts food into energy, processes toxins, and fights off invaders, it produces unstable molecules called free radicals. These molecules are missing an electron and will steal one from anything nearby, including DNA, proteins, and cell membranes. This process, known as oxidative stress, is a natural part of life. But when it becomes constant, fueled by pollution, poor diet, stress, and aging, it starts to erode the body's foundation. Over time, this damage accumulates, setting the stage for conditions like cancer, heart disease, diabetes, and arthritis. This is where basil steps in. Packed with antioxidants, it helps neutralize free radicals before they can do harm. Unlike synthetic supplements that often fail to deliver on their promises, the antioxidants in basil come in a natural, bioavailable form, woven into fibers and oils that the body recognizes and uses efficiently. Whether it's sweet basil with its clove-like warmth, purple basil with its deep anthocyanin pigments, or holy basil with its earthy, peppery bite, each variety brings its own blend of protective compounds. And unlike many so-called superfoods that require exotic sourcing or expensive preparation, basil is accessible, affordable, and easy to grow, even in a small apartment with just a pot and a sunny windowsill. But its power doesn't stop at prevention. Basil also appears to play an active role in managing existing conditions. In studies involving both animals and humans, extracts of basil have shown the ability to lower blood pressure, improve cholesterol levels, and help regulate blood sugar, a trifecta of benefits that strikes at the core of metabolic syndrome, a cluster of conditions that affects millions and dramatically increases the risk of heart attack and stroke. For those struggling with diabetes, this is particularly significant. High blood sugar doesn't just cause fatigue and thirst, it damages blood vessels, nerves, and organs over time, leading to complications that can be life-altering. Basil's ability to support glucose metabolism may offer a gentle, natural complement to conventional treatment, helping the body regain balance without harsh side effects. Then there's the immune system, that complex, ever-vigilant network that defends against infection and disease. Basil contributes to its strength in multiple ways. It provides essential nutrients like vitamin C and zinc, both of which are crucial for immune cell function. But more than that, it contains compounds that have been shown to fight bacteria, even some that are resistant to antibiotics. In a world where microbial threats are evolving faster than medicine can keep up, this natural antibacterial effect is not just interesting, it's potentially vital. Imagine a future where a simple herb could help reduce reliance on pharmaceutical antibiotics, preserving their power for when they're truly needed. One of the most fascinating areas of research involves cancer. While no single food can cure cancer, the evidence suggests that certain plants, including basil, may help reduce the risk. Laboratory studies have found that basil extracts can slow the growth of cancer cells, particularly in the colon, and in some cases, trigger cell death in abnormal cells before they multiply out of control. The mechanisms are complex, interfering with signaling pathways, blocking inflammation that feeds tumors, and enhancing the body's own detoxification systems. These findings don't mean eating basil will prevent cancer outright, but they do suggest that making it a regular part of the diet could be a smart, low-risk strategy for long-term protection. Yet for all its promise, basil remains underappreciated in mainstream health conversations. It's easy to overlook something so common, so ordinary in appearance. People reach for turmeric, ginger, or matcha with the belief that healing must come from the rare or the exotic. But nature often works in subtler ways. The most powerful remedies aren't always the loudest or the most dramatic. They're the ones that integrate seamlessly into daily life, a sprig of basil in a sandwich, a handful tossed into a smoothie, a few leaves steeped in hot water with ginger and lime. These small acts, repeated over time, may add up to something profound. And then there's the mind. In an age of constant stimulation, anxiety, and digital overload, mental health has become as critical as physical health. Basil, particularly the holy variety, has been studied for its adaptogenic properties, its ability to help the body and mind adapt to stress. It doesn't sedate or numb. Instead, it appears to support the nervous system, helping to regulate cortisol, the so-called stress hormone. When cortisol stays elevated for too long, it can disrupt sleep, weaken immunity, and contribute to weight gain and mood disorders. By helping to keep this system in balance, basil may offer a quiet kind of resilience, not a cure for anxiety, but a support system woven into the rhythm of meals and rituals. Of course, nothing comes without caution. Even the most natural substances can interact with the body in complex ways. Basil, especially in concentrated forms like supplements or essential oils, can affect blood clotting due to its vitamin K content and other compounds. For people on blood thinners, this could pose a risk. Similarly, its ability to lower blood sugar and blood pressure, while beneficial for many, could become dangerous if combined with medications that do the same. This is why the wisest approach is not to treat basil as a miracle cure, but as a food, something to be enjoyed in moderation, as part of a varied and balanced diet. The goal isn't to consume as much as possible, but to integrate it thoughtfully, consistently, and joyfully. The beauty of basil is that it invites creativity. It doesn't demand to be taken in pill form or measured out by the milligram. It wants to be crushed between fingers, inhaled deeply, tasted slowly. It belongs in gardens, where children can learn to recognize its scent. It belongs in kitchens, where families gather to cook and share meals. It belongs in tea, where its essence mingles with ginger and citrus to create a drink that is both refreshing and restorative. One such recipe, a chilled basil ginger lime tea, has been making quiet waves in wellness circles. Simple to make, it combines the anti-inflammatory power of ginger, the vitamin C punch of lime, and the aromatic depth of fresh basil. Served over ice, it's a summer staple that does more than quench thirst, it nourishes from within. In New York, where the pace rarely slows and the air carries the weight of a million lives intersecting, this kind of nourishment matters. The city is a place of extremes, of ambition and exhaustion, of abundance and inequality. And yet, in small acts of self-care, people find ways to reclaim balance. A walk in the park. A moment of stillness. A meal made with care. Adding basil to that list isn't just about health, it's about reconnecting with nature, with tradition, with the simple truth that food can be medicine when treated with respect. It's also a reminder that healing doesn't always come from a lab or a prescription pad. Sometimes, it grows in soil. Sometimes, it's passed down through generations, tucked into family recipes and cultural rituals. The Italian grandmother who grows basil in a terracotta pot on her fire escape isn't thinking about antioxidants or cancer prevention. She's thinking about flavor, about memory, about the way a fresh leaf can transform a dish. And yet, in that act, in the growing, the picking, the chopping, the sharing, she is engaging in something deeply medicinal. As research continues to uncover the science behind basil's benefits, one thing becomes clear: the line between food and medicine is not as sharp as we once believed. The same plant that once guided souls in ancient Egypt now helps modern bodies navigate the challenges of urban life. It doesn't promise immortality, but it does offer something perhaps more valuable: a chance to live longer, healthier, and with greater vitality. And it does so without fanfare, without cost-prohibitive pricing, without requiring a trip to a specialty store. All it asks is that we pay attention. So the next time you pass a farmer's market in Union Square or spot a vibrant green bunch at your local grocer, consider taking it home. Don't just use it as a garnish. Make it the star. Blend it into dressings, stir it into soups, infuse it into water or tea. Grow it in a mug on your desk if you have to. Let its scent fill your kitchen. Let its taste linger on your tongue. And as you do, remember that you're not just seasoning a meal, you're participating in an ancient, ongoing dialogue between humans and plants, one that has sustained us for millennia. In a world that often feels fragmented and fast-moving, basil offers a moment of continuity. It connects us to the earth, to history, to the quiet wisdom of nature. It reminds us that health isn't just the absence of disease, but the presence of life, vibrant, resilient, and rooted in the simple things we too often overlook. And sometimes, all it takes is one small, fragrant leaf to bring that truth back into focus. So go ahead, crush a leaf between your fingers. Inhale its aroma. Taste its sharp, sweet, slightly peppery bite. Feel the coolness spread across your tongue. That's not just flavor. That's centuries of survival, adaptation, and quiet power. That's basil, unassuming, essential, and waiting patiently on your plate to make a difference. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the surprising power of basil, a humble herb with ancient roots and modern superpowers, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you never miss a story about the hidden science behind everyday foods. If you've got a favorite way to use basil, whether it's in pesto, tea, or straight from the plant, drop it in the comments below. And remember, sometimes the most powerful medicine isn't found in a bottle, it's growing in a pot on a windowsill. Thanks for watching.